And do me a favor.
What?
Don't tell me what happened.
Oh, I'm telling you what's
Do
gonna
not
happen.
tell me what happened.
I'm giving you a play-by-play.
I do not need that. Hello, fam, and welcome to another alpha episode of Zebadextra v Phebo.
What's making this alpha?
What is it?
What isn't making it alpha?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we going to review today?
So I believe we are reviewing 10 episodes of shows that we watched over the last month.
Uh-huh.
First episodes only.
It's going to be 8 episodes. Just
is it 8?
Don't get your hopes up. It's only 8.
Sorry. We're going to be talking about 8 episodes of first-run TV shows that we watched this last month.
Yep.
And we are going to tell you how we feel about those episodes, whether they are binge material,
Yeah.
or they are
Not
bin
so much.
material.
Good one. Bin or binge.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe I'll put that on the tier. Did you say we're going to be tier ranking them? So
Yes.
maybe it'll be binge worthy or bin worthy.
Bin worthy.
Ooh,
yeah.
good job, Tim.
Thanks.
So these are all new to us. We had never seen them.
We have not watched any of these episodes before.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say that, like, for me, it's kind of exciting to do this with you because it gives us like a little bit of one-on-one time while we go about our busy weeks. And so it's really nice to do this and to be able to provide you with our thoughts, whether you agree, disagree, or think we're complete idiots.
And maybe we'll save you a little time. You were like, hey, I was thinking about checking out that show.
Yeah.
Zebadextra said, no.
No mas.
Okay, I need to find my phone.
I don't even remember what they all were, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I know we watched a few really good ones and a few really not so good ones.
Okay.
But yeah, so let's take a look at this list we have. You know what? I'm going to start in reverse order.
Okay,
of
with what we just watched?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we just watched, it was on
Netflix.
This show called Cheats.
Unfinished Business.
Unfinished Business.
This was totally just, I turned the TV on and this was new and I clicked on it.
Yeah, and hadn't heard anything about it. When she turned it on, she's like, do you want to watch this? And I was like, well, you've already got it on the screen, might as well. I felt like this was going to be the one with Chris Hansen. Chris Harrison.
You thought it was going to be Bachelorette?
No.
Oh.
The guy that he separates them and then they get to watch videos of what they're...
That's the guy that has the same name as Mark Wahlberg. That's Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, okay. So it's the Mark Wahlberg one?
It's like Mark E. Wahlberg.
Yeah. And I thought it was like that.
It's called Temptation Island.
Yeah, and so far in the beginning, it's kind of similar. There's a similarity there. They bring in, was it 6 couples?
8 couples.
8 couples. So they brought in 8 couples, and these 8 couples, they meet up for the first time at this, really big, really pretty table. I loved it. It had like a fire in the middle. It was really cool. And when they were there, I thought, this is not my cup of tea.
To be clear, they're ex-couples.
They are. They're all ex-couples who have broken up because of
Infidelity.
But that's not the name of the show.
Cheating
it is.
They're all British, by the way, or else they're all from the UK.
I believe so, except for the counselor that they bring in.
But the couples were all.
Yeah.
And the big difference between this and
Temptation
Island is that they're not trying to date anybody else. This is more about like the therapy, talking through what happened, seeing if they can reconcile. And it was funny because the therapist and the host were having like a big brother viewing over the couples as they were talking. I thought that was interesting.
It was very interesting. But I really liked about this is the first thing they did was they brought these couples in and they had them sitting on opposite sides. And when they broke them up, they mixed the group by whatever side they were on. And so it wasn't like all the girls went to one villa and all the boys went to another. It was kind of a mix. Mm-hmm. And you can see in the first episode even, there's like some psychological kind of attachment, where they want to help each other emotionally. And I thought that was really good too. I'll be honest, like when we turned this on, I was like, not again, right? But this one actually turned out to be really, really good. I enjoyed it.
Really, really good.
It was really good. I enjoyed it so far.
Okay.
It's one of the ones, I'm not saying I would race home to catch a live viewing of it.
Okay.
And I wouldn't
but
binge it.
You would watch another episode.
I would watch another episode.
So take a quick gander at these and see if you can figure out...
Let me put Zebadextra's eyes on.
Yeah, where you're going to plop this one.
I'm going to have to say this was my number 3.
3 from the top.
3 from the top.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in my number 4 spot.
See, with the list we have, we're kind of lining up there.
We had, like, half of this list was like,
Yeah, not so much.
Actually, let's talk about... Oh, let's... I didn't think this one was terrible. Like, we both watched it, but I'm not, like, dying to watch more.
Yeah, if you want, we can
let's go ahead and talk about that one. So, there's
You're going to introduce this?
Yeah. So, on Max, we watched 2 reality shows on Max about families. The first one we watched was about Alec Baldwin's family.
Yes.
And I don't remember, what was it called? Just the Baldwins, maybe? Something like that.
Alec Baldwin, or, yeah.
Anyway, so this is just going to be a very, like, Coco loves, or Ice loves Coco, or whatever. You know, like, where you take an already established celebrity and you do a reality show about their family life.
Yeah.
That's the one about Ice-T.
Oh.
Okay, so Alec Baldwin, if you don't know, he was on trial for manslaughter. An occasion that happened when he was filming a show.
Yeah.
The start of this show starts last summer. So it starts right before the trial happened, and he ended up being acquitted.
Right.
I don't remember all the circumstances of if, like, the judge just threw out the case or...
I thought the district attorney did.
Threw it out?
Yeah, it was just like, we're not going to prosecute.
Yeah, I feel like it didn't go all the way through.
Yeah, it did not.
So anyway, Alec Baldwin lives in New York with his wife and, like, 6 kids? 7
kids? Oh my goodness,
kids?
there were so many kids. Like, honestly, I had trauma about that.
Why? Because you lived in a house with so many people?
Well, not only that, but I was like, oh my goodness, there's no way at my age, and he's 15 years older than me, there is no way I could have kids as young as he has and deal with them.
Like a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Maybe even younger than a 2-year-old. So Alec Baldwin, we had to look it up. He is like 2 or 3 years younger than my father. And so he's even older than that, than you said. He's like 22 years older than you. It was intense. The noise level, and everybody's on top of each other inside this apartment. Like, at least in our house, there's a couple levels where you can kind of get away from the noise.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so watch this show if you want to watch a family. Okay, if you're particularly interested in Alec Baldwin, sure.
Yeah.
But if you're not, and something that you're interested in is just like a big family and how they do everything they need to do, or if you...
With 2 maids or 2...
Yeah, maids and nannies and stuff. Right, but they don't make an appearance in the show.
Right.
At least not in episode 1. Watch this if you are interested in his...
6 dogs.
Oh, they had so many dogs and cats.
Yeah.
That was the thing that made it way over the top for me, because I have a hard time with animals on top of noise.
Yes.
Also, we found out that Alec Baldwin has OCD. And he has to go around, like, cleaning up after everything's already been cleaned up, because I don't even know how he's functioning.
I don't think he is, to be honest.
Well, anyway, so if that sounds intriguing to you, maybe we just sold it. Maybe they're like, oh, I want to go see how the heck this is happening, but...
Personally, my feeling on this show, this is Alec Baldwin trying to kind of save his name.
Okay.
You know, this to me was like, okay, we're going to film my family, we're going to do this, and You know, make sure that you capture that I have OCD. Make sure that you capture everything I'm dealing with in the family.
Wow.
Make sure not to capture any of the help because I want it to feel like this is all on me. And look at me, I'm a family man.
So you have a pretty negative view of him.
I like Alec Baldwin.
Okay, because you're coming in hardcore.
I think that on the show I am.
Okay.
I like Alec Baldwin. I think what happened was a terrible tragedy. But
so you were saying his PR person maybe made all these choices, not maybe necessarily him.
Correct, correct.
Okay.
And one of the things that I kept saying throughout the whole thing was they kept talking about how this whole thing has negatively affected their family.
They talked about her family and her child, though. They did talk about that.
But they barely touched on it.
Okay.
And the whole time, like, my whole thing was I kept going, oh, well, that's rough for you, but what about this boy who lost his mother? You know, what about that? Where is...
Well, they can't probably make the show about him. He's not on the show.
Right, but, I mean, something to just say, hey, he's okay, right? You know, he's okay now, there's... You know,
well, he's not okay now.
I understand, but like...
I'm just saying, I don't think that there was a way for them to tactfully do that. Because he can't be part of the show.
Right.
And they did mention it a few times, how they're literally haunted every single day knowing that this boy is without their mother. And I think it's kind of tacky anyway, but I just don't think that there was a better way for them to do it.
I don't know, it left a really bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah. How's that sound? Sound like you want to watch it?
Having said that,
yeah,
I believe this is my number 5.
Okay, so you have something between Cheaters and this one.
I don't know, but I reserve the right to move them around at the end.
Okay, so I'm going to put this in my number 6 spot.
Oh.
Yeah.
So even worse than me.
Yeah, because I think one of the ones that you picked I really didn't like. Your turn.
Okay. I think one of the ones I want to talk about now, just to kind of get this out of the way, this is another Max.
The other family reality TV show we watched, which was worse than this, worse than the Baldwin show. Because it totally lacked.
Let me give the name
interest.
Before we get into this. This
like, at least I knew who Alec Baldwin was, and I was like, okay, I kind of get, what's going on. Okay, go ahead.
This is called Paul Family. And I don't know if you've been living under a rock, if you don't know the name Jake and Logan Paul.
If they don't have teenagers, they probably don't know who these people are.
I'm sure they do. I mean, Jake Paul just fought Mike Tyson.
Okay, yeah.
So if you don't know that family...
If he hadn't fought Mike Tyson, would you not know who either of them were?
I knew who they both were, and I thought they were douches.
I was just wondering. Okay, so
I don't know if you want to cut that out or not.
No, it's okay. We get blessed with a reality show following their family.
Yes.
And we're going to see the ins and outs of how these brothers hate each other but love each other.
Yes.
And how they're super rich and they have all this money and they don't care who hates them. We're just going to rule the world. That's literally like the platform of this show.
Kinda. I feel like they are like dollar store Mr. Beasts without any of the charity.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good assessment. I mean, we could just literally end it there. That's how much I disliked this show.
But here's the thing. I thought, man, I don't think I can dislike anybody more than these two. Then, what did they bring in? Their dad.
Yeah, the dad.
And I am like, no wonder.
Yeah, so I don't think I've ever watched a reality show before, and I've watched a lot of reality shows, where you have divorced parents who have been divorced for a very long time, but they decide to make both of them part of the reality show.
Yeah.
So this man who none of them get along with is on the show.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It is. It is. In my mind, it's a money grab.
I mean, and they're talking about in the show, I mean, I don't even really want to spend time about this. Because they're just talking about how he's causing all these problems, the dad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so yeah, That's all I want to say about that show. That's how much I disliked it. So that's my number 8.
This is a bin.
That's my worst thing I've watched all year.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you.
And we've watched a lot of shows.
We've watched some bad stuff, and this is...
Yeah.
This is... You know, like, my mom used to watch B-rated movies.
Yeah.
And TV shows like that.
Yeah.
And this comes under those. I don't know if there's a C or D, an E or an F rating. Yeah. I don't know how far down it goes. But this is wherever the bottom hits.
You know that one comedian, she has red hair and she had a stand-up comedy show called like The D List or something?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, this was definitely D List. Okay.
D List.
Let's move on.
I wish we could delist this from my memory.
Yeah. Is this your number 8?
8.
Okay, so did I say that the last one was my number 7?
You said 6.
I said 6. Okay, I'm going to tell you about my number 7.
Oh, we're getting all the bad ones right out of the way, huh?
Got to Get Out. It's on Hulu. It is another reality show. It is, this time it's, half of the cast was actually people that I was like, okay, I recognize your face.
Yeah.
They're all in this house together. They have to get out of the house. And they get these clues or something at different times, and it's like, okay, this window's going to be open at this time. Try to sneak out then. But there's this watchtower where people, I guess you're not supposed to sleep. You're just supposed to like be up and watch. Because if somebody gets out, then they get a certain amount of the money. Like it's growing over time.
Yeah,
right?
I think there's like a ticker clock. And as the money just continues to grow and grow and grow and grow, and the total amount that is going to be given away by this game is $1 million.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So let's say there's 16 people. I don't know, but there might be 16. Then if they all stay in and they just decide to work together, they would all split it. But if they think to themselves, okay, my portion, what would be... So let's say there were 10. And they were like, okay, I would get 100,000 if we all work together. But if the clue says, if you leave at this time, then you're going to get this much money. And if it's more than 100,000, then they're like, okay, I'm going to go for it. But the problem is after you go for it and people catch you, now everyone hates you for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
No one's going to believe you.
Do they get to come back?
That one guy did.
Okay.
Remember he walked back in and they were like,
that's right.
Ooh.
That's right. That's right.
Anyway, this show is very silly and did not really interest me at all. This is my number 7. So this is worse than the Alec Baldwin show, but better than Logan Paul. What about you?
I slightly disagree.
Okay, where do you put this? So you have Logan Paul, and then you have Alec Baldwin right above it?
Yeah, I can go with that.
Really? Okay, so you're going to move that to number 7.
Well, who says I'm putting this at the bottom?
No, I'm not. Oh, okay, go ahead. I just didn't think that there was something you liked less than the Alec Baldwin show.
What was my... Well, we're not talking about the Alec Baldwin show.
No, but that's the only things you've rated so far. You give this one an 8, this one something, and then this one you gave a 3.
A 3, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bump Cheat down to 4.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put this in 3.
You liked this show.
I enjoyed this show.
Okay, tell me what you liked about it.
So what I liked is the fact that you have like this Overwatch, right?
Yeah.
And like at one point, the one guy is like, "Don't worry, I got this. I'll take the Overwatch. I got it. Boom! At his time, he tries to sneak out.
Yeah.
And it's just fun to watch them all like so uptight and panicky over making sure no one gets out.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like they do the interviews and they're like, you know what, my number is this. So when it hits this, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just like the thought that the whole game is worth $1 million, right?
Okay.
So if somebody gets out with $250,000, there's still $750 for the rest of the group to share.
Mm-hmm.
And I just liked some of the byplay that was in there. It was interesting.
Okay. That surprises me. Okay.
It's something I would watch again. I'm not going to go binge it all.
Yes.
But yeah, I would say 3.
As a reality show connoisseur,
yes,
as I am,
This was no Bear Grylls one.
Oh no, I didn't like that one either. Okay, so they have to get out these gates, right?
Yes.
Like the gates that enclose the property or whatever.
Yes. And the gates open at
There's only one place to get
times.
out. Yeah. So it's going to open when their code says it's open, right?
And they
so they
have
have to sneak or race there. But there is a big red button in the middle of the house that if somebody says, someone's trying to escape, you just hit the button and it closes the gate.
Yeah.
The reason why I can't get on this show is it's so stupid to me, the fact that there's all these people literally puppy guarding this button, and as soon as you hear somebody push the button, you just hit it and it's over. Like, it just doesn't seem...
Yeah, but here's the thing about it. Like, right now, in the first episode, they kind of went big on...
So you think they're going to relax?
Well, no. I think what's going to happen is the methods to escape the gate are going to change. It's not always going to be go start a Ferrari and race it down this lane to get out. I think there's going to be other things like, you know, sneak through the trees, or I think I heard one of them say something about you have to like crawl down the road. Like if it's at night, that's a lot easier than it is during the day.
Yeah, one girl decided not to do hers because it sounded too hard or whatever in the middle of the day. I don't know. I felt like it was trumped up stakes that I didn't feel. So for me as a viewer, I didn't feel it.
To me, like you watch the challenge kind of stuff, and I
like that because they're actually doing something.
I know. I get you. I get you. But the pomposity on the challenge is immense.
It's so funny.
And
nothing about this show was funny to me.
Okay, I can understand that, but I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I thought there was room to go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I hear ya.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you what my top show was now.
Wait, didn't you go last?
No, you did.
I did not pick that show.
Okay, you go next. I'm pretty sure you did.
No.
Okay. Oh, you're right. That was me.
All right, so the next one I'm going to talk about, and I think this might surprise you a little bit.
Is this your favorite?
Is on Prime.
Okay.
And I'm going to slaughter the name.
You stole it from me. That's the one I was going to talk about. Sure, we'll go with that.
Étoile?
This means star in French.
E-T-O-I-L-E.
Hold on. Hey Siri, how do you say E-T-O-I-L-E in French?
Étoile.
Étoile.
You were pretty darn close.
I have no idea who any of the stars in it are. I thought the one guy I kind of recognized.
Which guy?
From the Manhattan Theater. The main guy that's always freaking out.
The Manhattan Theater?
Isn't that what it was? Manhattan? Isn't this where the whole thing, the Manhattan Ballet?
Well, they're at the New York Ballet.
New York Ballet.
But what's the Manhattan Theater?
Sorry, I was talking about the guy that runs
okay. So the main guy with the dark hair, you thought you recognized him?
Yeah.
He was vaguely recognizable, but I didn't know where he was from.
Do you know who he kind of reminds me of? The guy from That Girl? This girl?
New Girl?
New Girl. Yeah.
He reminds you of Jack Johnson?
I don't know. Is that his name?
The funny one? The shorter funny one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, that's not him.
Okay, because he kind of reminded me of him. The
only person I recognized is the main female. She plays...
Cheyenne?
No, not the main dancer. Sorry, the lady we meet at the very beginning.
Gotcha.
She is...
Doesn't matter.
So we have people from the Paris Ballet Company and people from the New York Ballet Company. So half of the cast is going to be French or British, and then half is going to be American. And the two dance companies are what?
Bankrupt. Running out of money.
They're both bankrupt?
Yeah, they're actually doing really horribly. And so they come up with this plan. The third person in this triumvirate. There's like three main characters on this show, on the first episode. I believe we're going to get more in depth as we go along. But it's the Luke Kirby who runs the New York Ballet. What was her name?
Her name... Genevieve.
Genevieve.
Yeah.
Is that her name in the show, or what's her name in real life?
Oh, her name is Charlotte Gainsbourg.
Charlotte Gainsbourg.
Hold on, I want to tell you what she's famous for because...
She's famous for delaying the end of this video. So anyhow, the three main characters, they are trying to figure out a way to save ballet, basically, for these two countries. And so they sit down at a table finally, and they hash out who is going to be traded from one to the other ballet. And then it goes into the actual characters of who they've picked. And I think we're going to get some more information as we go along.
Jane Eyre. She's from Jane Eyre.
That's what I said.
No, that's what I just said.
I told you that before. You didn't listen.
No, you said Jane Austen.
Same diff.
Anyway, it's really... Okay, so did you feel like there was a tension between the two main characters? Like, they previously had a relationship. Or they state that. They state it right up top.
They state that.
Okay, so the two main characters, you can feel obvious sexual tension.
Yes.
They're both running these big companies, so they're both very powerful people, but they have to work together in order for them to both make their company succeed. But neither of them has money, so they have to invite this benefactor in who neither of them likes because he's like a horrible warmonger. He's like,
a warmonger. But what I think is funny about this episode is it was a little cheesy, right? The whole boat scene.
Oh, yeah. I thought they were actually filming a show when they put that part in.
Yeah.
It was over the top.
Yeah, that was a little over the top. And so there's some of this that's just like, what?
They're trying to demonstrate that this female ballerina is very dramatic.
Very dramatic, yes. And so one of the things that I noted, and I don't know if you felt the same way, that girl, the main dancer, ballerina, I believe she has also had some sort of relationship with him as well. Okay.
We don't know yet.
But we don't know.
Yeah.
But all of them just kind of give you a, like, I don't know. I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I did.
Everybody on the cast is basically a diva. And the point is, like, you don't have to be a ballerina, like a artist performer, to be a diva. Like, these are all divas, and so it's like, how are they all going to work together?
Right.
So they're trading people back and forth, so that's going to be really fun. The choreographer that was like dancing in the middle of the street, I thought he was really fun.
Yeah.
And then there's like a personal interest kind of, because you have the young girl at the very beginning, they wrap it around at the end.
Yes.
And the main girl is kind of caring about her storyline. So I liked it. There's also beautiful dancing in here, so this was my number one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was the one that I would be most interested in seeing more of.
I'm going to temporarily slot this at 2.
Okay. Number 2.
This may move up.
Okay.
I liked this one.
Yeah, me too.
I enjoyed it. It was... like I said, it was a little over the top, like the window scene or the door.
That was hilarious.
It was. I loved it.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. I'm like...
The ballerina, she is one to watch. Like, she was fire. And I'm not even talking about the dancing. Her dancing was also awesome, but I thought that she was just really, really great.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I think I'm going to talk about... Let's go ahead and get out of the way the one that I think is either your 1 or 2. So Mobland from Paramount. This one has a lot of big names.
Yes. I was surprised by that, actually.
I think this one is going to be my number 3. I don't think it's my number 2, but I did like a lot of the people that they have cast in this show. So they've got Pierce Brosnan. They've got Tom...
Hardy. Yes.
They've got Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren. And a few other people. Yeah. So, what's the gist of this? We're in London, right?
We are in. Is it London? I thought it was Ireland.
Oh, I don't know.
No, maybe it is London.
But one of the big mob families is Irish.
Yeah. So basically, you open up. You've got this mob scene and. It's a huge power play. The main character, Pierce Brosnan, plays a really kind of top gangster.
He's a gentleman gangster.
He is, and one of the things I liked about this was like everybody around him was completely crazy.
Yeah.
Even his wife.
Yeah.
His wife was like over the top crazy. And I was like, oh my goodness, such a dysfunctional family.
And then you have Tom Hardy's character, and he's like the enforcer.
Well, he's also like the balance, like
right. So he's he's like the normal person, kind of in the middle of everybody, just like whoa.
Yeah, and like Tom Hardy's going through some marriage troubles, and he's like, yeah, I'll prioritize that.
And he has a teenage daughter. Trying to prioritize that.
Yeah, and it was.
But also, it's like, you plop down these regular people problems in the middle of people who are all just unaliving everybody.
Yes.
So it's kind of like...
Yeah, it was something to take in. I was quite impressed.
Were you? What was impressive about it?
Just, I don't know. I was really... I kind of fell in love with the Tom Hardy character. I immediately hated the Pierce Brosnan's grandson character.
Eddie.
I love Maeve.
Which one's Maeve?
The wife.
Oh, Helen Mirren? Her name is Maeve?
Maeve. I believe it's Maeve.
Huh. You love her because she's so...
She's just like...
crazy?
You think of like a grandma, and you're like, oh, my grandma would never hurt a fly. And then here she is, and she's like, yeah, kill him.
Yeah.
And I'm like... What? Yeah, it was...
So it had a compelling storyline.
It did.
You've got these warring families. There's this intrigue. There's betrayal, backstabbing, and you really don't know, like... Well, you don't know what's going to happen, but you also... I was thinking that there was some secret plans. I don't want to say too much, but... I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I really loved Tom Hardy's character in this. It's been a while since I loved Tom Hardy characters. And
well, you like him in the first Venom.
I did like him in the first Venom. In fact, I kind of liked all the Venoms.
Is Tom Hardy just play Tom Hardy in every single movie? Because he kind of seemed the same to me in this as he did in Venom, where he's just like a regular guy trying to be a good person pretty much, except that you're murdering people. But then you're just like encountered with all these problems you're trying to deal with.
Yeah.
It seems the same.
A lot of it, yeah.
I didn't know he was British.
I did not either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna slot this high as well.
So you just gave that other one your number 2. Where do you want to put this one?
I guess I gotta go 1.
1? Okay, I'm gonna put this in 3.
Okay.
Okay. Your turn. There's
We
only
don't
2
have,
left.
I was gonna say we don't have much left. All right, so next up on my list is Ransom Canyon on Netflix. This one is about a rancher who is dealing with a lot of tragedy.
Oh, yes.
So he has a lot of trauma in his life.
Trauma, capital T.
And it kind of is a Yellowstone for Netflix.
This is Yellowstone Light.
Yeah. It's so far it's light. But in this episode that we watched, there are I guess 4 or 5 main characters. There's the girl that works in the bar.
There's 2 girls in the bar.
There are 2 girls that work in the bar. There's a lot of main characters in this. But anyhow, the main plot behind it is somebody wanting to run, I believe it was a water pipe.
Something like that.
Yeah, through these lands, and the lands are owned by 2 of the ranchers.
Or is it 3? I thought he had to get 3 people.
There's 3. But the one rancher is the one that's trying to push the other 2 to do
So they
this.
must all abut this property that they're trying to put this thing on.
And so, 2 of the ranchers are like, I don't really care about the money. This is my home. This is where I live. And so, this is building up to like one of those old Western movies. Like originally I compared it to Shane, which I can see some similarities, but it had some pretty landscape. It had a lot of feels for me at the beginning.
Okay, just at the very beginning.
Yeah, at the very beginning, because there is some heart twisting things that happen there, and I enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed it. Did I enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the first season of Yellowstone? No. But this is definitely one that I would watch more of.
Okay. What about like compared to Landman, which we also haven't watched any more of?
Landman, that's
That's the last westerny one we watched.
yeah, that's the one with Billy Bob Thornton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I would actually say this is better.
Okay.
So I felt it. I felt the characters more compelling. I felt for the main character. Some of the other characters kind of drew me in, and you know, like the love interest there. That to me was kind of. I want to see where that goes.
Okay.
So I would say the trope of the love affair is kind of played out in other things, but I'd still like to see where it goes.
Okay. So, where are you going to put this?
I believe I have my number 2 open.
No, that you put Etoile in there.
Etoile. Okay, then this has to be 3.
Okay. So I think I'm going to put this in number 4.
4.
That being said, I do not want to watch more of this.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so you could watch this on your own.
I probably won't.
Yeah, probably not. I didn't think the acting was good. It's like if I'm going to spend my time on a show that is literally just like Yellowstone, I'm going to watch Yellowstone. It's more gritty. The acting is a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It's funny. Beth is funny because she's like so over the top.
Yeah.
And Rip. I mean, we haven't even finished that show, but
Yeah.
because there's such a strong comparison for me between the two, I was just like, meh.
Yeah.
So that was just me.
I got you.
Okay. Also, like, the trauma that man is trying to get over and living in the same town where it all happened,
Yeah.
and then they're trying to be like, start a relationship with this woman
Yeah.
who just makes you think of your wife. Like, that just seems way too tough.
Yeah.
Okay, so our very last thing we're going to talk about is called Long Bright River. This is on Peacock. This is an Amanda Seyfried TV show. She plays a cop.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what her past is, but we know that she has a son with a father who's not in the picture except for the fact that he pays for stuff. But I guess he's like bad news, kind of.
Yeah.
She has a grandpa, so it's her and her grandpa and her son.
Yes.
And she is a police officer in like Chicago or something, right?
I believe that's where we thought it was because of all the overhead trains.
Yeah. So she is especially invested in the homeless people, especially the women, right?
Yes.
So it shows like some flashbacks to her and her previous partner, and he was like saying, oh, there's Sue, there's Rebecca, there's like, he was
Yes.
pointing her out the people that he knows, that the homeless people that live in their, what is it, like their zone, their area?
Yeah.
I don't know. So you find out at the very end why she's so particularly interested in looking through all these women and trying to find a specific person. But you also find out that there's some, she's lost her previous partner, so there is some trauma. And
when you say partner, you're talking her
work partner.
Yes.
Yes. So there's some trauma and there's some drama there that's not completely unfolded. So they keep that a mystery.
Yes.
And then her son, he's like a genius, and she's got him going to a special school, but she has to maintain a relationship with his dad in order to get him to go there. So she feels herself kind of stuck in this tough spot. She's trying to be a good mom, but she also wants to keep them safe. But she wants to keep that dad around to keep her son in school. So, you know, she's single mom in it. She's having a hard time. Plus, she's out there on the streets as a beat cop, right?
Yeah.
She's not a lieutenant yet.
Right.
And there's somebody that's murdering homeless women.
Yes.
And they're cropping up, and that she feels like the people above her aren't realizing that this is connected. And and that is a long gist of what this show is.
I think it's a conspiracy.
You do?
I do.
I feel like the mystery and the acting was such that I would want to watch more and see what happens. That whether it's a conspiracy, whatever's happening, I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to know. So I'm putting this in my number 2.
I kind of disagree.
Okay. Were you bored?
A wee bit.
Yeah.
I wasn't hooked. And I will tell you, like, that, and you know this, you probably know what I'm going to say. The flashbacks for me, too much.
Yeah. I knew you were going to say that.
I don't need all that.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe one flashback that's, longer is okay, but in, what was it, an hour? We're having a flashback every 10 minutes? Come on, guys. And I don't know who we're flashing back to. So I can't care. Right? I can't, at the end I'm like, oh, that was her. But by that point I was like, I don't really care who it was.
Got it. Okay. Valid.
I don't care if it's the president.
Okay.
I don't care if it's Vladimir Putin. I don't care.
All right, so you're gonna put this kind of low.
I'll put this mid.
So wherever you're missing a spot, I'm gonna plot this one in.
I think it's 6 is where I'm missing. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would plot that in there. I mean, here's the thing. If it was something you were watching, I might pay attention a little bit. I would not go out of my way to watch this.
Okay, got it. So you like Ransom Canyon better than this.
I did.
And you liked Cheaters, Unfinished Business better than this.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Good to know which ones I can watch without you.
All the ones at the bottom.
Logan Paul, here I come.
You watch that Logan Paul all you want. And do me a favor.
What?
Don't tell me what happened.
Oh, I'm telling you what's
Do
gonna
not
happen.
tell me what happened.
I'm giving you a play-by-play.
I do not need that.
All right, well, that's all 8. So we hope that you got something out of this.
Yes.
Hopefully we saved you some time, or hopefully you had a few laughs. If you have any shows you want us to review, leave them down below. We also have a movie review.
We do?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
It went up on the channel right before this. We talked about the new Thunderbolts movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
I really thought that movie was go watch the video.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you back for the next one.
We will.
Take
Next
care
one.
until then.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Bye.